with him. And it was only made worse by the fact that he was diagnosed before I was born. So I never really knew my grandfather as a normal person without Parkinson's. So as I grew up, I eventually began to realize, how difficult it is to deal with it and how difficult it is to live a life with Parkinson's or to watch a family member deteriorate due to the disease. And when he died, I was really hurt because, first of all, I had never had a grandfather, and now I would never have a grandfather. So from that moment on, I really wanted to do all I could to make life easier for people with Parkinson's and to just bring about awareness and make a change in the community so people realize how difficult the disease truly is to deal with and how much help people diagnosed with it really need. So that's where this idea came about. The tulip is the symbol of Parkinson's, and our goal is to make 164 because that's how many cases are diagnosed daily. So if you could all tell people about this project or just spread the word, that would mean the world to me because this is in memory of my grandfather. And to me, the whole project is very close to my heart. So thank you all for coming. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you all.
Thank you so much. And I think you all have heard bits and pieces of the story. It was just about a month ago when actually Nikhil and his mom reached out to me. And this whole project has evolved quickly. And again, thanks to Allison and her support, and Andrea, who's our office manager. She's also joined us. So together we have just tried to launch this project and get it off the ground as quickly as we could. So we're very excited. So what I'd like to do now is actually, I'm going to have Nikhil is going to actually demonstrate, going to actually start off with just kind of the measurements and roughly kind of the size that we want to begin using. And so Nikhil, while you kind of go through that, I'm going to go and put on the side of our screen the photo slide so that everybody will be able to see that and also hear you explain it as well.
Okay, yeah. And if any of you have any questions while I'm going over how to make the tulip, please feel free to just speak up. I'm more than happy to help. Let me just rotate the camera. Right. So I'm going to assume that all of you have 2 sheets of printer paper nearby. They don't have to be colored like mine. They can just be white. So you're going to have to first start by making a square. So if you'll take your printer paper like this and hold it so that it's the long side is facing you like that. If you take this end and fold it down to this end like that, just folding along the diagonal, kind of like that, you'll make a little triangle here and then crease alongside and then cut along this line with some scissors. You'll get your first square. So once again, you just take the rectangular sheet of paper, fold this edge to this edge. Does someone have a question? I think I heard someone say something.
Mike, was that you? Did you have a question?
No, I was asking Donna if we wanted to get a sheet of paper. We had some set out, but now we're in the dark. So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm on my phone. I don't know how to mute myself.
I can mute you, but you're good.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're fine. Okay. So you'll fold this edge to this edge, just like that. And then you can take some scissors and then carefully cut along this line right there. Can everyone see that okay? This line right here, just like this. And this doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about making it super neat. Just like that. So this will be your first square, and this is going to become the stem of the tulip. So you can just lay this off to the side and then do the exact same thing with your second sheet of paper. And this is what will be the flower. So once again, you'll hold it so that the long edge is facing you, and you'll take this edge, fold it down to this edge, just like that, and then crease. And then once again, you're going to cut along this line like that.
Okay. You need two of them.
Oh, two of them?
Maybe one of them a different color.
Well, we have to do a lot of measure.
Okay.
And this will be your second square, like that. So this will be the tulip, and this will be the stem. So does anyone have any questions before we continue? Does anyone want me to go over it one more time? All right, so I'm going to assume that everyone is ready to start. Does everyone have their squares ready? Is there anyone that needs me to wait a little longer? Because I can. No? Okay.
I think you're good.
So, all right. The first part to this is going to be making a flower. So you're going to take one of your squares. If you've got two different colored squares, pick one. If you've got 2 sheets of white paper, pick one. Doesn't really matter. So you're going to start with one of your squares, and we've already got one of the diagonals folded like that. So you're going to fold the other diagonal, which is to say this corner to this corner. You're going to make a crease that connects both those corners. So just like this. Just like that. And then you'll fold. Again, don't worry about making this too neat. As long as you get the crease in there, it's fine. Just like this. And then you'll unfold, and you should have a sort of X in your paper, like that. So once again, fold this corner down to this corner, just like that. And you'll connect these 2 corners with a crease. Okay, so now once this is done, you're just going to fold back along the diagonal you just folded and rotate the triangle so the open side is facing away from you, like this. All right, and then this step is a little tricky. You're going to pinch in the bottom where this crease intersects this edge, just like that. And you'll fold this corner up slightly, but not all the way, so that there's a small gap in between this line and this edge, just like that. So once again, you'll put your finger here and you'll fold this edge up to this edge, but you'll leave a small gap so that they don't completely touch, just like that. And you're just going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So you pinch down here and you lift this edge up to the center, leaving a small gap so that the 2 almost touch, like so. Okay. Does anyone have any questions? Because that step was a little difficult. No? Okay, good. So now you're going to take this and you'll just flip it over vertically like that. So now once you've got it like this, you're going to rotate it so that these 3 points are facing to the left, and then take this corner and fold it up along a straight line. What I mean by that is this: just fold it up so that the crease is straight, right? This crease is perfectly straight. Just fold it up like that. In other words, this crease is parallel to the center line right here, just like that. And then rotate it so that the 3 points are facing this way, and then do the exact same thing. So fold a crease that's parallel to the center line, like so. And you might want to press a little harder on this since the paper gets kind of thick, but it's not that big of a deal. So now if you'll flip the paper over like that and then rotate it, the tulip is complete and you can lay this off to the side. Does anyone want me to go over anything or do it one more time? Because I'm more than happy to do that. No? Okay, good. So now we can start on the stem. So once again, just take your other square sheet of paper, and you should already have a diagonal folded from when you were cutting the square. So hold the paper so that it's not straight, it's kind of tilted like that. I find it easier to do this if I hold the paper like that. So you should have one diagonal that's running up and down, and you're going to fold this edge to that diagonal so they meet. It'll create a kite shape when we're done. Right, so you'll make them meet up like that. And don't worry about it being too exact down at the point here. That's not that important. So one more time, you're going to fold this edge to this center line, just like that. Okay, and then you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Take this edge and fold it to the center line. Just like that. So you'll have, sort of looks like a kite in my mind. So the next step is to just flip the paper over like that. And then along this center line, you're going to pick up both layers here and just fold them over like that. So one more time, along this center line, you'll take both layers and fold them over like that. So then you'll get a very thin triangle. So the last step is to take this triangle and rotate it so that the open side is on the bottom, the open side is on the bottom, and the thin end is on the left. And then what you're going to do is you'll just fold up the thin edge slightly. The angle that this is folded up to doesn't really matter. So then you'll have a shape kind of like this. So one more time, you hold it so that the open end is facing you and the thin end is to the left, and you'll just fold the thin end up like that. So now we have the stem complete and the tulip complete. So the way they fit together is like this, and you can kind of see the tulip shape coming together, but we have to stick them together first. So if you have a pair of scissors, you can use them, or you can also just tape the two together. I find that they fit nicely if you just cut off a tiny piece off the bottom of the tulip right here. About this much is fine, just like that. And then you'll notice that there's a hole in the bottom that opens up, right? If you take the thin end of the stem and you just slide it into the hole, like so. This is a little tricky. Push them together, it's a little easier. You slide it into the thin end like that. I'm trying to make this as clear as I can. Like that. They fit together quite nicely. And if you're not able to do that, you can just take a piece of tape and tape them together. So the way you would do that would be flip the tulip over and then take the stem and place it right behind the tulip. And then using a piece of tape, which I'm cutting off right now. Using a piece of tape, just stick it on right there. You've connected the two quite easily. And this is the final tulip. So if anyone has any questions or wants me to go over anything one more time, I'm more than happy to do that. Are there any questions? No? Okay.
I'm judging
Well,
by silence that's a good sign that everybody has got beautiful
Very good.
tulips.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes. I think
Oh.
it turned out pretty cute.
Andrea,
Oh, that's
very
fantastic.
nice.
Yeah.
JB,
Thanks,
let's hear.
Nikhil.
No problem.
I wish I had brought different color paper.
And they all look great.
Thank you.
That's okay. You can make as many as you like and as many different colors. You can paint them, you can decorate them, you can use some red Christmas wrapping paper if you like. So the options are endless for sure. Andrea, I am trying to just show Nicole's slideshow, and so I can see it, but I know you all can't.
Yes, I can't see. Did you use the share screen at the bottom?
I did, yes, so I can see it, but I'm not able to actually get it so that everyone else can see it. So what I'll try
Yeah.
to do is send everybody this link so that we have it just for future. Let's see if I can-
Hey, Leisha, when you hit share, did you see any windows pop up?
Yes, and then I clicked Google Docs, which is where his slideshow is, and so it shows up for me, but then it just minimized the Zoom screen.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't know why it's not showing then if you selected it.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
Do you want to try to send it to me and maybe I can try on mine?
Yes, let me do that.
You did a really great job explaining how to make them.
Oh, thank you. Thank you all for participating. This means a lot to me, and I'm really thankful for all of your help and support. It means a lot.
Well, we're excited to be able to collect all the tulips so that we really can create something that's going to be unique and hopefully something that we can continue to share and just increase outreach so that more people just understand a little bit more about Parkinson's and just how prevalent it actually is. So
Yeah.
we're off to a good start. For
And I
sure.
want to let you know, it means a lot to my family, and to my grandfather, and everyone that's helping me right now. I appreciate it so much. I really do.
Well, you are very, very welcome, and we're so glad that you and your mom reached out to DAPS. Can you tell us a little bit just about who you are personally, just how old you are and what year
Okay.
you are? And
I'm 15 years old. I'm in 10th grade at Flower Mound High School. I like science, reading, playing with my dog, and origami, which is why I decided to do this project with DAPS, kind of fuse my interests together into something that would benefit the community.
so how long have you been making origami?
Since I was 6 years old, so it's been a long time.
That is so you're expert level at this point.
I wouldn't say expert level. I'm intermediate. We'll put it like that.
Was there anything specific that got you involved with origami, or what kind of?
I couldn't say for sure. I've been doing it for as long as I can recall, so I don't really know what sparked it.
So there
It's
wasn't
just been
anybody in your
like-
family that was an avid.
Probably my mom, I would think. Probably my mom.
I have a question. I want to know what's the hardest origami you've made?
Oh, I can, if you would like, I can tell you some that I've
Yeah.
made.
Yeah,
Okay,
that'd
you want me
be
to?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. I'll just pull them out of my drawer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I would be more than happy to show them to you.
Because I know it can get very, very intricate, and I feel like we got off easy probably with our tulips.
I was just looking for my origami cranes from the Soaring with Hope for Parkinson's project we did. I was like, usually I have them everywhere on my desk.
And Allison, when after Nicole has shown us some of his origami, I want you to explain and tell people a little bit about the crane origami project from a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I would love to. I have to find, oh. It's so crazy.
The storm's just hitting out here.
Yes, I just heard it too.
Yeah, I just looked out the window and. Now the paper, you said they could be any colors? I thought we were maybe just doing red, or is it everything?
So you can if you want to use a white or another shade of red, that's fine. But for instance, what I'm doing, we had a lot of pink paper at the office. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make mine, and then I've got lots of red markers and pencils. And so I just kind of thought I would decorate it or paint it and just make it, just kind of a funky tulip with lots of red in it. So I mean, you could even just, put your name on it. You could write a message, with a red felt pen. So the options are endless. I think the more different they are, I think the more opportunity we have to really hone in on how Parkinson's affects so many people, but it also affects so many people in very different ways. So I don't want you to feel like you're nailed into a specific piece of paper.
So I brought 3 to show you. They're my favorite. This is a rooster. It's just a rooster. This took a while, but I think it's one of my favorite models that I have right now. I'm not sure
Wow.
exactly what this is, but it's a bird of some kind. It's got a neat little tail.
Like a dragon.
Hold the bird up again.
Here,
Are
I think it's easier to see from this angle.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's cool.
Thank you. And this is just a lady with an umbrella. It's not the best I've ever folded, but it's
Hard.
quite interesting.
Hmm.
And so
So
do you
those are-
find these in like
those
a
are some of
book
the stuff
or?
I do. Oh, I actually fold them from they're called crease patterns. Basically, it's just a diagram with it's like a square with the folds that make up the model, and you kind of make those folds onto your square, and then you collapse it on those creases.
How long did those take you to make? Those were pretty good. Those are awesome.
They are.
Oh, thank you. I would say I know the rooster took me about a week. The other 2 I couldn't say. I don't really remember.
So you're saying that it was probably more than the 11 steps that we're working on today?
Oh, yeah. Not to say that the tulips aren't. They mean a lot. They mean a lot. The tulips.
Absolutely.
So in a way, they're as valuable as the other ones.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing.
Of course, yeah.
Well, Allison, can I?
Alicia,
Yes,
you
Mike.
were talking about collecting them. Are y'all collecting them in the office?
So I'm glad you
Did
asked.
you understand?
Yes. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
yes, there are a couple of different ways folks can absolutely mail them in. And so I'm going to, on the Google chat, or I'm sorry, on Zoom chat, I'll put our address in so folks can mail them in. You can drop them off at the office. We're not collecting until April 15th will be our deadline. And then at that point, I will collect them all and take them to Rock Hill High School, where the floral department is actually going to create a wreath with all of those that have been sent to us. So we'll be able to display those at the Lifetime Achievement Award on Wednesday, April 27th at Highland Park United Methodist Church.
Cool, great idea.
Yeah.
So yes, so we're excited just because I think we're going to get a variety of lots of different tulips. And like I said, we really hope that this is something that folks can share so that anybody can participate. I know I've got my 8-year-old nephew working on some. So we just hope this will be a project that everybody can feel a part of and feel like they can participate in. All right, well, I'm going to switch it over to Allison because I think it would really be helpful for folks to hear about the origami cranes and how those originated and how they migrated across the world, actually.
Alicia, if it's okay, I would just like to explain why I decided to do origami as like a project. Do you mind if I talk about that for a little bit?
Absolutely, go right ahead.
All right. So origami is a little odd. You know, Parkinson's and origami don't really make much sense, but there's a bit of a connection to it for me. So I initially said that I never really found a connection with my grandfather. That was kind of a lie because I found it through origami. I remember when I was very young and I was still making very simple models, I made a small cat out of a purple sheet of paper and I left it next to the wall film. And my cousin found it and she was running around and showing it to everybody in the house. And she ended up showing it to my grandfather and it made him very happy. And he was in a late stage of Parkinson's when it's difficult to really tell that, you know, they're feeling emotion or it's hard to understand what that person is feeling, but I saw in his eyes that he was excited, that he was happy. And I used my origami to connect with him, and it kind of brought our family together and healed us a little bit after his diagnosis. So the reason that I decided to make an origami tulip was because, to me, origami and Parkinson's are just very close. They're very connected. I used it to connect to my grandfather, and I think it can connect the whole community and raise awareness for Parkinson's, which is the whole goal of this project. So once again, I want to say thank you to everyone for helping make my dream come true and bring honor to the memory of my grandfather. This means a lot to me. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for sharing.
Good job.
Of course. Yeah.
Mhm.
I have to tell you that I absolutely love this. It takes two of my favorite movements and sort of puts them together. A couple years ago, I was approached by three ladies that have Parkinson's in Pasadena, and they asked if, as a company, we could sponsor shipping some origami cranes to Kyoto, Japan for the Parkinson's, the World Parkinson Congress. Sorry. And so in the Japanese culture, 1,000 origami cranes means hope and health. And so what their goal was at the time when I talked to them was they wanted 10,000 origami cranes and all of them to have messages of hope. And so I didn't start the project. I just loved it around. And at the end of it, when we got to Kyoto, we had 16,000 origami cranes with messages of hope from 33 countries. And they were all hanging from these big Japanese umbrellas. And I was so in love with the project. It really does bring the community together. And I really missed it. So when we got into COVID and I was thinking, I mean, I have an origami crane tattooed on my arm. I loved it that much. And so when we got into COVID and I was thinking, well, what can we do to bring the community back together? Because everyone was home, we were all just home alone. And there's a 10 million tulips page on Facebook. It has nothing to do with our company either. But it stands for the 10 million people with Parkinson's worldwide. It's just pictures of tulips and I love it. So, I called Eli and we started the Parkinson Tulip Project. So it'll be a big art display at the World Parkinson Congress in the middle of the Congress. That will be a tulip garden. And it will represent, each patch of the garden will represent the region of the US. And so if you're at the Congress and you walk around, you can see it. And if you're not there, you can be represented in the garden, just so that in the display itself, you can see all the amazing things going on in the community. So I would love to take some of these origami tulips over there too, after it's all said and done, to move it in there. Because I'm like, it takes the two projects. I was like, oh my God, I love it. We have to be part of this because it brings my two projects sort of together.
Absolutely. I love the cranes, and I know we've got some great pictures of some of the cranes that people made and created, and it's very inspiring.
It's just so great to have so many people come together and do it. So I love that about this. Also that it brings the whole community together.
And you may have already said this, and I may have just didn't hear you, but wasn't this just a couple of ladies or a small group of people who approached you with this idea of creating the cranes?
Yeah, and they really, I have to say, like I said, they really did all the work, got everything. I just loved it and talked about it. So our company paid to ship the cranes over to Kyoto, but yeah, I mean, at one point, and my kids and I went to crane folding parties, and at one point, I think Naomi's entire house was full of these like huge Japanese umbrellas with cranes. It was just like so amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well,
they did pretty impressive.
It's very impressive. Yeah, the power of community is something that can't be beat.
Yeah,
for sure.
So Nikhil, thank you so much for doing it. I think it's such an amazing thing to do for your grandfather.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
does anybody else have any questions or comments? For those of you that need to leave, that's perfectly fine. We are recording this, and so we'll put it on our YouTube channel, also on our website, and of course on all of our socials as well. So there'll still be lots of opportunities to share how to make the origami tulip with your friends and family. All right, well, I take that as a good sign that, Nikhil, your instructions and your demonstrations were A+.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for participating. It means a lot. I know I've said it a million times, but it really does. I appreciate it.
Well, we are glad to be able to work with you, and glad that you'll be able to join us on April 27th when we display all of them
Yeah.
as one solid piece. All right, well, very good. Well, if we don't have any other questions or comments, then I hope that you guys will keep in touch. I hope you'll send us your tulips. I've sent in the chat box, you can find our address, you can drop them off. So if you have any other questions, of course, you know where to reach me. But we hope that you'll continue to participate and share the word. All right, very good. Thank you all so much
Very good.
for joining us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you
Great.
so much. It was great.
No problem.
Line.
Look forward to
Great program.
participating.
Bye.
Thank you all for coming.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye, Beth. Talk to you soon. Bye, Andrea.
I'll talk-
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye. Thanks.
Thanks for your help, Andrea.
No problem.
So Jack, you are going to be there tomorrow at 2 o'clock at Belmont.
I am. Yes, ma'am. I'll be there.
Terrific, great. So Kirsty is our contact at Belmont, and she's got valet will be an available place for it. We can use valet. She's got some side parking, but I would encourage you just to make sure you allow for some time, because it is, well, you can probably walk to it if you're in downtown, but it's sometimes parking is a little bit tricky there. But like I said, there's valet and there is garage parking as well. Once we come in, they probably will ask if you've been vaccinated or not. I know that's part of their criteria at Belmont, is they just want folks that are vaccinated. And most likely you'll also need to wear a mask. So I think the assisted living facilities are still taking a lot of really strict precautions just so they can ensure that all of their residents are safe.
Is there a certain time you want me there, like 1:30? What works best for y'all?
I mean, honestly, I think if you want to get there at like 1:45, that's okay. The room that we're going to actually have the project in is it's a pretty good sized room, so it shouldn't take you long at all to get your tablecloth and your materials out. I'm also going to bring some markers, like I said, so that if people, if they want to use pink and they want to make things red, or if they want to get creative with their tulips, they can. Belmont's also going to provide some refreshments, so they'll have some really nice snacks, and they make great food. So we'll have some nice treats there as well.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good deal. Okay, terrific. All right, well, I will be there tomorrow with paper, materials, and anything else you guys can think of, then just let me know.
Do I need to bring anything, or is it all taken care of?
I think we're all taken care of. I have printed out your slides, and so
All
I'm
right,
also going to give those to people. So for folks that prefer just to use paper instead of something digital, I'll have that for them as well. So
Yeah.
I think
That's great.
I think that's it. So thank you so much. Yeah, that was, you made it super easy.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Absolutely. Yeah, very good. All right. Thank you guys.
Leisha, don't forget to take a group picture tomorrow with everybody holding up their tulips.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Don't let me forget that. And I meant to say that in the chat for people to take their pictures and email those to us. And I keep forgetting. So just keep reminding me of that, Andrea, because that is really important. All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. So appreciate it. And I'll see some of you tomorrow.
Ma'am, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, Jack.
Yes, ma'am. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.